Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about a major challenge for any large institution. I'm talking hospitals, universities, big corporate offices, and that's what to do with your walls. See, in these places, walls are so much more than just architecture. They're a critical part of the whole experience. Today, we're going to explore a modern solution that is completely changing the game. So let's start with a really simple question. Are your walls an asset or are they a liability? Now, it might seem basic, but when you really think about branding, wayfinding, and just the daily wear and tear, that wall space can either be an incredibly powerful tool or, let's be honest, a constant, costly headache. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem. You see, the demands of these high-traffic, institutional settings are totally unique. And the traditional solutions we're all used to, like vinyl and wallpaper, well, they might look fine in a home, but in these environments, they often just can't keep up. Now this slide, this is where you can see the huge gap between the promise and the reality. You're sold this idea of a seamless look, but what you actually get is bubbling, peeling, and seams you can see from a mile away. You're promised simple installation, but that really means disruptive downtime and paying extra for off-hours labor. And that durable finish? Well, it often ends up with this ugly haze from harsh cleaning and the edges start to lift. And brand consistency across multiple locations? Forget about it. You're constantly fighting color drift and differences between vendors. And the problems go way deeper than just how it looks. There are some serious hidden costs here. You've got all this life cycle waste from vinyl that's tough to recycle. You've got project delays because of one simple mismeasurement. And as you try to scale up, the brand inconsistency actually gets worse, not better. All while you're shelling out cash for constant service calls to fix failing seams. It's a system just full of friction. So, that's the problem. But what's the solution? Let's get to the good stuff, the innovation that addresses these failures head-on. We're talking about direct-to-wall printing. This is a real performance-based alternative built specifically for the pressures of these big institutional environments. The key thing to understand here is that we're basically eliminating the middleman. No vinyl, no paste, no adhesives. A mobile printing unit comes in and applies a super high-resolution image directly onto the wall surface. The ink is then cured instantly with a special controlled light, which creates this durable finish that's literally bonded to the wall itself. And this just shows you how brilliantly efficient the whole process is. It all starts with a precise digital pre-flight, getting everything perfect before you even start. Then, on-site, a mobile gantry just prints the image seamlessly across the whole surface. The ink is cured instantly, so no waiting around. And this is the best part. As soon as the small crew leaves, that room is 100% ready to use. No off-gassing, no dry time, absolutely zero disruption. Now, this isn't just some cool new novelty. It's a truly measurable leap forward. So let's look at the actual evidence, the proof that shows how this technology just blows the older methods out of the water when it comes to performance, speed, and especially scale. For anyone who's a facilities or operations manager, these are the kinds of wins that really matter. We're talking about printing an entire wall in under 5 hours, a lot of times just overnight. By getting rid of adhesives, you get rid of the number one reason these things fail. If you run into an unexpected outlet, no problem. You just adjust the file right there on site, no costly reprints. And with centralized color management, your brand looks exactly the same in Boston as it does in Raleigh. Okay, now let's zoom out and look at the long game, life cycle and durability. The finish is literally engineered to be cleaned with those heavy-duty institutional-grade products. When it's time for a rebrand, you just paint over it. No demolition, no waste. And it works on tough surfaces like concrete block or even brick. It all adds up to a much, much lower total cost of ownership, your TCO, because you're basically designing out the need for future repairs and waste from day one. All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in practice? Let's ground these benefits in some real-world scenarios and see how the solution is being used right now. If you're in healthcare, the benefits are immediate and obvious. You can integrate wayfinding right into the wall, which cuts down on all that sign clutter. The seam-free surface, that's a massive win for infection control. There are no little crevices for germs and grime to hide. You can create these beautiful, calming, photorealistic scenes and embed critical safety info that's durable and super easy to clean. Now think about universities. This technology helps create a totally cohesive campus identity at scale, from the dorms to the arena. Imagine instructional diagrams printed right onto the lab walls, exactly where students need to see them. And because you can easily paint over and reprint, things like seasonal updates for athletics or donor recognition become simple and totally manageable. And in the corporate world, this is all about being agile and aligned. You can scale your company values across every single office with perfect consistency. Project rooms can get a visual update to match a new initiative in just one evening. It lets you create a truly museum-quality experience for visitors and even integrate key communications like ESG data right into the environment itself. So, the key takeaway here, the big thing to remember, is that we're really looking at a fundamental shift. This is not just a new way to decorate a wall. This is a strategic system that completely redefines what is possible for institutional interiors. And this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. The whole philosophy is for the graphic to feel integrated into the architecture, not layered on top of it. It really becomes part of the building itself, a durable, seamless, and totally intentional part of the design. So we'll end with this question for you to think about. Once you remove all those old limitations, the seams, the adhesives, the disruption, what could your walls truly communicate? What story could they tell? This technology turns that question from just a hypothetical into a practical, achievable reality.